All right, so online voice recorder. So this is what I typically use when I just want to do a little short audio recording. And it is short. You can't actually record very long on here. We tried it. I had Rachel sing a song, and she sang a really long song, and like I think she was going on for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it cut off recording partway through. So it's a kind of a shorter thing, but you can record multiple clips and put them all together using Anchor, and I can show you how to do that. Or you can just put all the audio clips into WeVideo and publish them with nothing in the background, but like maybe you're reading a book and you have a picture of the cover of the book. You could put all the clips together in WeVideo and publish it there too. So you don't need to like go sign up for anything. It's just there. I haven't read their privacy statements, to be honest with you. So I don't know what they're doing with their audio recordings when they're done, but it's a risk you take sometimes. So all you do is you start by clicking the little red microphone in the center of the screen, and then it starts recording your voice. And I think since my microphone's being used by me, you're not going to see something, but across this middle part, you would see this like green line that moves up and down with the audio as you record. When you're done, you just click stop and it processes. You can trim it and cut it up and make it sound like you, or make it just have the clips that you wanted to have it when it's done processing. And then you just click save and it automatically downloads to your computer as an audio file, which is really nice. It's going to take forever to process.
Quick question. Once it goes down as an audio file, so then I click that and I want to put it, say, on a PowerPoint slide.
Yep.
When they then click that link, I'm assuming it becomes like a little link. Does it then open up so you see it like would it take over the screen? Because things I've been trying to voice record and then put in there, once they click that, it like then people can't see the screen. They're just seeing like a, like it's talking.
You know what? We could try it.
Because that's what I'm like. I wanted to read one of my slides, so I recorded myself doing it, and I did something you had shown me, some voice recording thing, and that didn't work. So I'm curious if this is just a little thing that you like, so they can still follow along with the screen,
Yeah, I've done a couple of WeVideo things where I was recording myself reading, from PowerPoint slides. Well, it was a Google slide thing. And I found that worked pretty well for me because you get the slide, and I did it without showing myself. So I'm like, I didn't have myself in a little thumbnail picture in the bottom of the screen. It was just my voice, going through, and then you could add extra explanation.
And you can download your slides as individual pictures. So like, Jen, is that how you did it? Did you screen record your slide yourself like advancing through the slides, or did you download them all as individual pictures?
No, I did a screen recording of my, so I started the screen recording, and then, I had to go to the tab where the Google slide was and open that up. So I ended up having to, when you get to the edit part, you have to trim away the few seconds at the beginning where it shows me kind of clicking and moving around and getting it going. And then I, went through the whole thing, and then I finished it. And then I, cut off the last few seconds at the end where it shows you kind of closing out of everything, and I put in a little, intro thing, but yeah.
So Jen, were you able to stop, like pause it and then like go to the next slide and then like start it again recording?
No, you could it was a continuous recording.
Just keep recording. And then if you mess up, you just edit that part out.
I guess. I mean, usually if I mess up, I then get so mad at myself that I start talking to myself. So I have to just start over. But you could technically do that. So you could technically do that. You could probably, maybe stop at the end of the previous slide and then, pick up again at the next slide and go on. I'll send you because I read a little book, like How to Dig a Hole to the Center of the Earth. This book, It's a picture book. I read it to my students, but I just, avoided copyright by, copying all the picture, scanning all the pictures in and putting them on a Google slide, and then I read it. But I'll send it to you so you know what I mean.
Okay. Hi, Ronnie.
Okay, so to get back to your question, Angela,
Yeah.
I have a couple of voice recorded downloads already. So I'm actually uploading them to my Google Drive to start. And then I made a new slide presentation. So did you upload? File new, file upload.
Oh, good. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that has 10,000 folders in my Google Drive.
Yeah, I know. I never really show my drive to anybody because I'm supposed to be an example to people. Okay, so I'm going to see if it uploaded. Going to insert audio. Oh, there it is. So I just clicked it, and then I'm going to click present.
I know what you love me, you know what?
All right. So if there were on your screen, it looks like, all right, that's good to know because sometimes you just want a little something and that works perfect for that.
Yep.
Okay.
But when you give it to your students, what I would do is I'd go to File, Publish to the Web, and then you can change the timing if you want, and then publish it, and then give them that link and not like just a regular shared file, if that makes any sense.
No.
So if I was to publish this,
because then the kids can't mess around with what you have on the slideshow, right? If it's published.
Yeah, exactly. And the audio is attached, so they probably won't have to present it to listen to it either. So this will automatically come up as a presentation for them. So you just click this link right here and put that in the classroom.
All right, so Carla, go back up one time. So you clicked on.
So I went to File.
Yeah.
Publish to the web. And mine's already published, but there'll be a little button down here that will say, oh, actually here, I'm just going to stop publishing it. So I just click the publish. You can like change the timing if you want to before you do that.
What do you mean by
publish? And so like the slides automatically advance every 3 seconds so you can change it to like every minute.
Wow.
Instead, so kids actually have to pay attention to you talking for that minute.
Okay.
So they can't fast forward through the slides and just be like boom, 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 boom.
Right. Okay. Well, they can advance through them, yeah. But this will like since it automatically when you publish it becomes like a little film strip almost that advances itself. So if you set it to 1 minute, it's going to stay on a slide for a minute, and then the kids can advance at their own pace. If that makes any sense. And so, because yeah. And then when you're done, you just click publish, click OK, and then copy that link and paste that into an assignment in Google Classroom.
What if I was putting it in a PowerPoint?
Well, this is the PowerPoint.
Oh, this is the whole PowerPoint.
Yeah. So the online voice recorder is just taking forever to process.
Okay.
So, because what happens when it's done processing, and what I want to show you, but it's more than likely because the Meet is using my microphone right now that it won't be able to do it. There's a little white button over here that says save. You click that, and then automatically at the bottom of your screen down here, you'll get that download bar, and your audio file will show up there so you can actually listen to it. But it automatically gets saved to your downloads folder on your computer. If you want to use it, in like Google Drive or in Google Classroom, you have to make sure that you upload it to Google Drive. That way it's easier for the kids to access and you have it saved to your drive.
Well, that's where I do everything. I do everything in Classroom. When you're saying
when you download the audio file, it will save to your computer. So you have to make sure that you go here. And they're all called something like online voice recorder file. So it's like this. So I've got a couple of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
So I have a silly question. When you're saying you're publishing this to the web,
The slides presentation.
yeah, what does that mean? Anybody can, it's now out there in the world?
It says yes, but no, if that makes
Okay.
any sense. Like more than like, there's probably a 1 in a trillion chance that people will find your slide presentation unless you put
Okay.
it in a format where like they can find it easily. No one's
Okay.
gonna. I've never had anyone find any of my stuff I published to the web.
Because it just randomly generates this name for this link, right? It's not going to be called, Angela Liddy's, presentation on blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not going to have any tags on it or anything like that. It's just, yeah, it's a random URL that's a Google Docs.
Okay.
All right. So to go back and review, I went to onlinevoicerecorder.com. I reload the page. Ouch. And then the website looks like this. And all you do is you click that button in the middle and you start recording. It probably, since I've used it a couple times before, it has permission to use my microphone, but so you probably have to allow it to the permissions, and you know how those buttons usually pop up anyway. So you just click that, you record, and then you click save, and you have an audio file that you can upload to your Google Drive just by going to new. Now my internet's getting really slow. And then file upload, and that should be able, then from there, it will be in your Google Drive. I recommend to everyone is kind of, don't be like me and put it in a folder so you know where to find them too. I just have too many folders.
Were you able to name that little voice recording?
No.
Okay.
You can probably rename it once it's in here, but not until it's on your computer. The actual
Okay.
file you can go and rename by right clicking on the file name.
Okay.
Or you can rename it once it's in Google Drive.
Okay.
But yeah, when it downloads, it's called what it is. You can't do much with it.
Okay.
All right. So now we're getting into the fun stuff. So this is Anchor FM. This is my published podcast I made with Rachel earlier today. It's scheduled to publish at 1 o'clock, so it should be published. Let's see if I find it. It's going to go to my episodes. Let's see.
With your little puppy on there.
Yeah, he was young there. That was probably like not even a year old. And he's 5 this year.
Is that a pug? I didn't see it.
No, he's a Pekingese.
Oh, Pekingese.
Okay, there's my podcast.
Now I see.
Yeah. Copy my link. I'm a podcast junkie, by the way. I listen to so many of them.
Yeah, Siobhan has started listening to some like crime, like true crime
There's so many
podcasts.
good ones. I don't listen to the true crime stuff. I just listen to like interviews. So this is my podcast. Hi, and welcome to my podcast. This is a recording of my daughter singing. It added the music. I added the music. It did all the editing with that. And it didn't play the whole thing. Oh, it did.
So now with the podcast, that's just audio, right? There's no video to that, right?
Nope, no video, just audio. So it's kind of like the word podcast comes because back when people were actually using iPods to listen to music, people were publishing these interviews, these radio interviews, and you could listen to them on your iPod. So the term podcast is from your iPod. Now you listen to them on whatever. You can listen to them on your desktop. But I was thinking, like, classroom-wise, like, let's say you wanted to do a fun way of explaining something or read them a story or something like that. You could create a podcast that could easily, like, the kids could listen to instead of, like, watching. It's just another different way to get to the kids, I guess, to engage them. So, and there are some students at the Marshall that have their own podcast that they publish. It's ridiculous. I've listened to like one episode and kind of said, okay, that's enough of that. But yeah, you can have kids make them too. And this website, Anchor FM, is so simple to use, like crazy simple to use. So all you do is you click new episode once you get in, and this is your new episode creator. So it allows you to record right from here. If you have voicemails that you wanted to include, you can include those voicemail messages. It creates a library of everything you've uploaded and added. You can add sound effects, music, all sorts of stuff. And it's so simple. So I'm just going to go to my library because I have a couple things in here already. These are what I did this morning or this afternoon when I was playing around with it a little bit more. So I'm going to click the plus button and it adds it to my little editor on the right-hand side. You can click this little music note, and you can add their pre-made music just by clicking. Let's say you can preview it by clicking the play button. Okay, that's really quiet. Okay, there's my music. I like that one, so I click the little checkbox. Click apply. And it automatically does all the audio editing for you, so it will not drown out your voice. It fades in and fades out at appropriate moments. It's wicked cool. It's taking a little while to load.
Is there a time limit on the podcast?
Not that I'm aware of. I think you can have a pretty long one. Right now, this is 20 seconds. So yeah, you can have like an average podcast is about an hour long. So I believe that you can pretty much have an hour long audio recording, which is cool.
So could this be something like if you were like for an English teacher, I guess, if you were reading a chapter book with kids and you could like have each separate episode be a chapter or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could apply it to other things, but like that way, if the kids could be reading along on their version or while they're listening to you or something.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking like maybe you could have Mrs. Tollison's Wacky Science podcast, and you could like have Siobhan be a pretend caller and say, "I'm wondering if you add baking soda to vinegar, is that an acid and base or something like that?"
Oh, that's cute. That's a cute idea too.
Yeah.
Or you could do the wacky science, wacky things in science history today or something,
Yeah. It's something like a little fun to grab their attention and engage them. And also, like, if you wanted to give them an assignment, you can see how easy this is to use. Like, the record is as simple as the audio recorder. It takes a second to load, but once you get it loaded, there's just a microphone in the center of your screen. You talk for whatever length of time you want to talk, and you're good to go. Then if you want to add stuff, that's simple too. You just click to upload audio, or you click and drag. So if you've recorded something on online voice recorder, just double click and you can add that. It uploads that recording directly to the little timeline. It's also easy to rearrange things in the order too. So if you don't want something at some point, you can click and drag to where you want it to go. You can add music or background to every single thing, so you can make it sound like This American Life if you wanted to, if anyone listens to that show. And then when you're all done, you just click Save Episode. And it takes you through like a little bit of background stuff that you would add. You can give a little description. It actually makes you do a little description. And then give it a date. You can give it a season number, just to be silly. You can set like what type. I know, right? I don't know. And then when it's all done, just like, oh, and then you can schedule its time that it goes out too. So this one, I'm kind of just going to go sorry, you can save it as a draft. You can publish it now. And then sharing wise, oh, I have a sponsor. That's okay. I don't want one. You can share it directly to Facebook, Twitter. You can just copy the link and put it into like on your Aspen page or in Google Classroom. You can embed it into Aspen if you want to, so they can play directly from your Aspen page. You can see how many plays over time. I guess it's going to give you that you get. It's pretty cool, and it allows you to like. I didn't set it up to push it out to other platforms, but if you wanted to, you could push it out to like be saved to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Stitcher or whatever podcast player there is out there. I'm personally not going to do that, and if you're going to do this as a project with kids, I wouldn't have them do it either, unless they want to make their own podcast. That way, it's not searchable on those platforms. But yeah, I just thought this was a really cool, very easy to use podcast creator.
And now if you want to share that with students, you just click on that link icon and you give them the link to the podcast. Is that what you do?
Yeah. And that's it.
So many things to try.
I know.
So when you give the link, if I was to put it into a Google slide, when they click on the link, is it going to take them out of the slide completely? It does. Okay.
Because that's not an embeddable audio into the slide. That's like an external link. So yeah, they would be taken outside.
Okay.
But it would just open like another tab, probably, right?
Yeah.
And your slideshow would still be there. They would just have to go back to the slideshow tab.
Click back to the slide. Yep.
So have you had kids make podcasts?
No, but Amy Call has. But that's one thing, like I did the Glue in the Lou about podcasts or audio because I really want to do a podcast with kids. I've been begging people. I've been talking to 7th grade English teachers at the Marshall saying, come on, guys, you want to do it, don't you? And so they had a couple of really cool ideas. They were going to do a podcast from The Outsiders and have the kids pretend to be different people from the novel, which I thought would be really neat. Like have a conversation between like I don't even remember, like Tommy Boy and Pony Boy, and I don't know the other. It's been a long time since I read that book, but I thought that would kind of be a fun thing. And then they were reading a book about slavery, which would also be really cool. Like have like the different, and it was a journal about slavery, so they could have almost like read passages to be the podcast. They would just have to think about how to set up those passages in the podcast. So yeah, like it could. I mean, Tony could turn his Locke Virtual Middle School, although I don't want him to because I love the videos, but he could turn that into a podcast too.
Yeah.
I know. Who knew he was so entertaining? I love the videos.
I love it. It makes my day every time I watch it. It's great. I want Mike Rossi to start doing it too.
The kids could, I could even just assign a question and the kids could just make a podcast answering it and have fun doing sort of all the bells and whistles that go with it.
Yeah.
Just as another way of giving them a way to show what they learned about something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do the Anchor FM part, which is a little bit like they could have a little bit more fun, like jazzing it up by adding the music and the sound effects. Or you could do something as simple as online voice recorder, because I've used online voice recorder with kids before. I think it was a 7th grade social studies project on Egypt, maybe. And they were actually, no, I did do one podcast project, but Anchor FM didn't exist yet. So I did use online voice recorder for that. And then we just put it into something called the Beautiful Audio Editor, which is a lot more complex. And I was not going to show that today, but Beautiful Audio Editor works a lot like WeVideo, where you have different lines and you just add the audio into the different lines. And then the kids publish that. It was way more complex than using Anchor FM. Like, if I wish Anchor FM existed back then, because I would have used that instead of what we did do. But the kids had fun. Like they were really cute. Pretending to be people from ancient Rome or Egypt. I don't remember exactly what unit we were doing it with, but it was a really fun project in the end. Because
just remember all of those amazing lessons that you have stored somewhere. That's what I'm teaching right now. So if ever you want to
Send them on over.
I think they're all here though. Most of them are right here. Like every time I look for one, I'm like, I could have sworn I saved it. And yeah.
All right. Well, you always give a lot to think about and a lot that I want to
Good.
try.
That's my goal. If you guys take one thing away from this, I'm happy. Like I'm not like, that's all I hope to do is, and that's why I do these is like, 'cause now that you're in this remote world, like there's a wealth of stuff you can do without overwhelming yourself. So it's like, now is the time to explore and play with like the really cool toys that are out there that you could use with students.
So I know we've already talked about screencasting, but the Loom program or the Loom, whatever this is, do you like that or not? Are you familiar with
What
Loom?
we're doing
I say that
I
again.
haven't used Loom yet. That's
Okay.
one I haven't.
Someone was telling me, because I've said, oh, I'm going to go, try and figure out Screencastify today and do something. And she said that had time constraints and that I should try Loom. So I signed up for Loom, but I haven't tried it yet.
Screencastify, if you use that COVID or cast-COVID, all caps, like it doesn't have the time constraints. That was a 5-minute thing. Loom, as I said, I haven't played with it, so I don't know it at all. But like my PLN is talking about it right now. That and there's another one they've been debating about. I like Screencastify. It's easy. It saves to your
I
Google
just haven't
Drive.
figured anything out yet, so I figured whichever one I was going to start trying to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's. Yeah, I used to use one called Screencast-O-Matic, but then they just made so many updates that made it hard to use, so I stopped using that one. But I've seen like a bunch of people with a little Screencast-O-Matic logo on their screencasts. So yeah, it's basically, and with any tool you use, it's what you're most comfortable with. So like whenever I make those like how-to videos where there's updates and stuff, I get emails right after I send them out and they're like, oh, do you think I should do that instead? I'm like, no, do what works. Like if it's working, don't reinvent the wheel. I'm just showing you different options for different things. So yeah. And that's it, guys. And go
Thank you.
enjoy this day while we have it.
Can I ask you just a quick question, Carla? Because I think Kathy sent you an email, and I just figured I'd ask you while I have you on here. The kids are whatever. The parents are saying the kids are overwhelmed because they're getting a million email notifications every time we put an assignment in Google Classroom. Is there a way for us to disable notifications from our side, or do they have to go into their Google Classroom account and on the settings shut off the notifications? Is there a way to do it?
Look. I haven't
from the
played
teachers?
it yet. I learned something new today, though, with Google Classroom. There is something with the stream. You know, the stream, how it automatically puts all your assignments on it.
You can. I have shut that off, but I was just wondering because like every time, if all the teachers are putting in assignments in Google Classroom, every time you put something in there, it's sending an email to the kid. So like some of the parents and the students are saying like they can't even find if you send them a legitimate email, like trying to communicate with them, they can't find it because it's buried in all. Because we found a little video, but it looks like it's more from the student side where they just go in and.
Yeah, let me do a little research. But it's not you can't do it in yours. You can't shut off notifications to kids.
On the teacher side. So yeah, I think Amy Wenrick found a cute little video that's pretty straightforward. They just go to the 3 little things in the left and scroll down to settings, go to the 3 lines. They can scroll down to the bottom and it says settings and you can disable notifications. I just didn't know if there was something from the teacher side, but it seems like it's from the
there's
student.
nothing you can do.
Okay.
No, so that might just be something that we send out to the kids.
Yeah. Okay. Amy Wenrick found an easy little video. So it's like,
yeah, they don't even have a settings.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was over there where the 3 little lines are where next to it says science class over on the left.
Oh, on the left.
On the left, the 3 little lines. I think if you go all the way to the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's at the bottom.
Click on settings. And then you go all the way. Yeah. But I think if you go all the way to the bottom, there was something about, turning off notifications for all the classes, like class notifications. There's a little arrow there. You can shut it off. Okay. Yep. I just wanted to know if you knew anything since I had you on the horn. So I can just, if you want, I can just email Kathy and let her know so you don't have to respond to her.
Yeah. No, I'll make a video too. And send that out I'll put it on Facebook. I'll have Tony put it on the Lock side and I'll put it on the Marshall side. Because that's something that they would love to know, the kids. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. That's awesome.
All right. Very good. I mean, do you want me to
Alright.
just share? Do you want me to just share the little video that Amy Wenrick found? Because it's like I think it's from a
No, I
teacher.
like to make my own.
I know you do. I just thought I'd share because sharing is caring, except when it comes to germs.
And
Yeah, no,
Carla-
totally share it with me because like Tony sent me an email that from a parent that made this, like, I don't know if you saw my s'more today, but he sent this email with this great outline of like, this is what's frustrating us and this is what you could do to fix that. And I'm like, this is great. I wonder what this guy does for a living. And then I just took what he did and edited it and made it my own. But yeah, and but the videos that he sent were awesome. So yeah, send the video along and then I'll play around with it and make it my own too.
Okay, I will do
All
that. And Angela, I'll send that wee video thing along with. I'll send you the slideshow I did for the book and the wee video so you can see kind of.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
All right, bye, ladies.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Have a good day. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Carla.